What's up, everyone? So I am your real estate mate. I am a real estate broker in this bustling city in Dubai. Today I want to talk to you about how do you keep your money safe when you invest in off-plan real estate? Because let's face it, guys, you are buying a property that doesn't exist yet, a property from renders and a floor plan and a location pin. How safe can that really be? Stick around as we dive into those details. So welcome back. Glad you stayed. It's you and me alone in the office today. We've got great views of the city behind me. This is Sheikh Zayed Road. If you've been to Dubai, you know this is the busiest road in the city. Then we also have the metro line running straight past our building from the downtown straight through to Expo City. 24 million people went to Expo City, and I'm thinking that at least one person in this world watching this video today actually went to Expo. Expo City is also being developed. I think it's a really good topic to talk about. Essentially, when we get down this road of YouTube and talking to each other about, everything real estate. But today I really want to talk about how do you keep your investment money safe when you're buying something off plan, when you're physically buying property that doesn't exist yet, in the hopes that it will be, and then also placing your hope in the fact that it has happened in the past, because else the city won't look like what it looks like. So let's dive into that. So you've got a couple of resources at your disposal. I don't know what the word is, but you've got a couple of resources that you can go to make sure that your initial investment is going to be safe. So I'm going to, in no particular order, just run through them. There is a resource to your disposal called the Dubai Land Department website. Now, this is probably the most transparent real estate industry in the world, where you can physically go to a website, and if a broker told you that, listen, this property that you want to buy sold for 4 million last week and you're buying it for 3.7 this week, you can literally take the address, go onto the website and see, what did it sell for last week, and if it even sold last week or not. It's so transparent that no one can pull the wool over your eyes. All the resources are at your disposal to make sure that you have done your due diligence to make sure that your money is being kept safe. But because we know the nature of the human, there are procedures and systems and things put in place to make sure that your money is kept safe. So for transparency reasons, you will use the Dubai Land Department website to see if this developer is actually a registered developer in Dubai, because this city is growing tremendously fast, and there are locations where plots are sold to private developers, and then these developers start building, and for them to build they need certain permits and codes and approval from the Dubai Land Department for whatever the intention is to build this property or block of properties for. So essentially, the process, not in too much detail, a developer now in Dubai has to prove that they have the financial means to kickstart this development, and they do not depend on buyer funding to kickstart this development. So they need substantial backing. So the quality of the developer entering into the market, if they are registered developers on the Dubai Land Department website, due diligence was done before, and if they're registered on there, you're probably one step closer to knowing, trusting that they are reputable. Second thing is they need to have a registered escrow account for every development, not the developer one escrow account for all the developments that they do. They need an escrow account for every single development that they do to make sure that the funds that go into, from buyers that go into this project, is used for this project. So you can just imagine in the past where that wasn't regulated, what happened in the past, the stories I'm pretty sure you've heard. It hasn't happened in the last, the last 10 years. I should say, nothing that I've heard of. We all know the realities of what happened in Dubai's past, but that is the past. And these transparencies and due diligence resources have been put in place so that you can do your necessary research alongside an industry professional broker that you're working with to make sure that your first investment is a great experience, so that your first investment is your best investment and it can only get better from there. So that's on the DLD and escrow account. So again, just to recap, guys, if you are going to pay money, your down payment, make sure that they have a registered escrow account and you're not paying directly to the developer, you're not paying to the real estate agency or agent. So through the process, there's nothing worse than not knowing what's going on. So just imagine you bought something off plan from a render and they said they were going to start construction at X time, and you're in a different country and hoping that this thing is actually happening. Right now, that has changed. You can download an application called the Dubai REST app. And on the Dubai REST app, you can put in the project name and they will show you how much percentage of this project has been built. So I'm going to put on the screen right here an example of a screenshot from the Dubai REST app so that you can see I was looking at this for a client to see, why hasn't this handed over yet? This should be built by now 100%. And it turns out it was 100%. As you saw, the only delay now is with Dubai Land Department because there's a few checks and regulations that need to be passed, like building inspections, for this to actually be handed over to you, like DWA activation, water activation, power, electricity, etc. So you've got the Dubai REST application that you can follow along the progress of the construction updates for the project that you invested in 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago. Then also we are looking at payment plans for off-plan real estate because you cannot mortgage off-plan real estate at all. No bank in the UAE will do that for you. You would notice that a lot of payment plans these days are linked to construction, which means, just to break it down for you very simply, because we haven't really done a video on payment plans and how the structures work, but essentially when you book your unit, you have booked with 20% down payment plus 4% DLD. Now you will notice that there are incremental payments every quarter that requires you to financially commit, and you have an obligation to pay 5, 10 or 15% once a quarter of the initial value of this property according to the payment plan schedule. But then you will also notice that the last half or last quarter of this payment plan says construction linked, which means that only if we have built 40% of this building, we will require this percentage from you. Up to that point, if we haven't reached it, you don't pay a single cent. So usually in a payment plan, you pay up to 40 to 50%, and then you've got like a year gap, or 6 months or 8 months gap of no payments, like 2 quarters go by and you have no payments. That could possibly mean that you've got a construction linked payment plan. Construction linked payment plan means, again, just a recap, if we get to 70% built, then we take 5%. If we get to 80% built, we will ask you for another 5%. If we get to 90% built, we will ask you for another 5%, depending on the payment plan. It could be 10%, could be 7.5%, depending on the payment plan. And when we get to 100%, we will ask you for 10%, and then the balance is due. So with the payment plans construction linked, you are also protected to know that they are actually, building this thing and they're getting to certain points. And you can now connect the dots by going to DLD. Before you release that 5 or 10% payment, you can go to DLD because they signed off. The developer doesn't tell you, hey, we're 70% built, pay us. DLD updates their website. On the Dubai REST app, you can see, okay, cool, they have actually gotten to 70%, and then you release the payment. Oh, they have actually gotten to 80%, and then you release the payment. Now, the profit for the developer in any development, it's obvious, is in the last portion because they use all the funds to build. They use all the funds to build. So their top line revenue is all in the last payments. And that's their incentive for delivering this project. There's always delays. construction, the delays, there's always supply chain, there's lots of things in construction that you can't control. So you have to expect the worst case scenario of a 6-month delay for handover. Plan for that. But you are safeguarded because you have an on handover payment, which is usually the 50% or the 20%, again, depending on your payment plan. But because if they have a 30% profit tied up in this development, they do require your last payment to actually have this as a profitable development. So their incentive is to actually deliver this thing so that they can get the final payments, so that they can get their profit for their project. It just makes business sense. Now, I hope this video helped you to understand how your money is protected by transparent regulation from government straight through to payment plans to where you are at a point where you feel comfortable getting into discussion with me, because I have a link in the description to my calendar for 30-minute property talk where we can go through various payment plans, we can go through various of these developments, which ones are profitable, what are the fundamentals within each one, which of these projects actually suit the goal that you're trying to achieve here in Dubai, because there's so much happening, over 400 active developments. 400 active developments, and we're looking at delivering 127,000 units to this city this year, right? I don't know if we're going to get there, but 127 units to the market to be handed over, to be completed, not handed over, to be completed this year. So still not enough property for the amount of people that are moving to the city, where, just to give you an example, recently a villa community launched where the starting prices were 8 million dirham on a 90-10 payment plan, which is quite aggressive, and it sold out within 2 days. Because if you look at the amount of people that are moving to the city on a month-to-month, year-to-year basis, and the target and the incentives that the government has put in place to attract top talent, to attract people to the city, you can just imagine where property prices would be when we are eventually at the population target that we want to get to. Now, I hope this was enough for you. I hope this gave you more information. I hope this made you comfortable looking into investing into real estate. I'm your real estate mate, a broker in this bustling city, and I'm ready at my office to help you. I'll catch you in the next video.